Club N17, Dean, we've just lost 2-1 to West Ham. We both went for draws, didn't we?
We went for draws because we was just trying to front it a bit. We said all week that we was going to get beat, didn't we, yesterday? All week.
Did you know what it was? That's what it was. I think I probably lulled us into some weird sense of security when I talked about the stat that West Ham haven't beat us at home in the last 3 games. So maybe we're thinking, possibly we might get something, but we couldn't see it happening. So the most we've done
we knew what was going to happen, didn't we? We knew exactly pretty much what was going to happen.
I mean, look, I got the score wrong. I got the score wrong, but I knew what was going to happen.
I mean, even in the video, I said that Bowen will cut in, clip a little diagonal in between the right centre back and right back channel, and Antonio will score in that channel. It took less than 5 minutes for that to happen. It was fucking obvious.
Yeah.
Obvious.
I don't know what the fuck Eric Dyer was doing. He was on his man, holding on to his man, and then as soon as the ball came in, he left him immediately and went towards the ball, and then turned over and looked at Tanganga like, "What are you doing?" And I think some of the commentary I was watching blamed Tanganga. I mean, that's how I saw it. What did you think, mate?
I think this project to get Eric Dyer to be a centre back needs to finish now, doesn't it?
We've had enough.
I don't think he's a shit player, but he's not a centre back, is he?
The championship level at best, I think. He likes to do this, hiding.
I'm back.
Yeah.
Just making, you know what it was? I was making sure my signal was all right. For some reason, it turns this off when I check it out.
Right. Okay. So.
But yeah, it's done. That experiment didn't work, so we can stop doing that now. If he wants to play Dyer, then he can be back up to Højbjerg, or he can play right back because our right backs are shit. But he's not a centre back, so stop it now.
No. Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
It's I'm trying to remember the second goal. That was the Lingard. Well, Lingard kind of just pushed it past him, didn't he? And he was a bit off balance. So I think it will be a bit harsh to gun him too much on that one.
Yeah, if you get outdone, you get outdone.
Yeah, exactly.
No,
I'm not going to gun him.
And let's face it, Lingard is now one of the best players in the world, right? So you can't knock him for that.
He can score. Gunning him so hard. Well, look, let's talk about the fact that we both knew what was going to happen. So you mentioned about Bowen, and I was just generally saying that it's going to be down to who defends better. And their defence looked much, much more comfortable than ours the whole game.
Of course it did.
Because
they had defenders in defence.
Yeah.
We had a centre-back playing at right-back, a defensive midfielder playing at centre-back, someone that shouldn't be playing anywhere at any position at any level playing at centre-back, and a really, really good attacking left. Like, so our only defender that is actually like an actual should be there is Reguilon, who's basically probably the most attacking left back in the league. So how's our defence going to look any good when the only capable person there is the left back that is games bombing forward? It's fucking madness. Right. What do you expect? What did anyone expect?
I'm calm at the moment because I think that this has given me an air of predictability, so I know what to expect from us now. I think we will only know who we can beat. Well, we'll know who we can beat because it will basically whichever defense keeps its nerves against us. So it don't really matter.
The problem we've got is though
that we're playing against. If their defense holds its nerve better than ours, which isn't difficult,
it's anyone.
Yeah. Then you'll be
probably take out Arsenal.
So yeah, this is what I mean. Like some of the lesser teams, some of the teams in the Europa League, some of the teams down the bottom that we'll have to face, we'll probably beat a couple of those guys because they're really bad. Or if a team has an off day, someone makes a big mistake, just like we will do. So I actually feel quite calm. I notice people are kind of losing their shit and talking about Jose out. I mean, we were talking about we don't think he'll last through February. I think the consensus is that it's going to be too expensive to sack him.
He gets beat on Sunday or Saturday, whatever day it is, and he's in trouble, isn't he? Big trouble.
Yeah, but do
like if we don't win that, us not winning next weekend?
Because
or him being in trouble.
Trouble, but we'll win the game in Europe, so that'll lay.
Yeah, we'll win that.
Yeah,
but we won't win the weekend. They're too organised, and they've got forwards that can nick a goal, like physicality and that will bash the fuck out of our centre backs. So we probably won't win next weekend. And then he's in proper trouble. And I was sort of like, I've always been quite calm about it. Like him, I've always thought he's done all right. We said last week, we had the conversation, I think the squad's shit, and we need to realise that we've deluded in terms of the quality we've got. But you've got to yesterday, you've got to ask him, what the fuck was he doing? We weren't very good in the first half. We had one good player on the pitch in the first half, one good player. And that's the player he takes off. Like, are you fucking stupid? Yeah. You got to be fucking dumb. Like that's one good player. Kane was shit. Son was shit. Mora was all right. Ndombele was shit. Højbjerg was shit. One good player we had on the pitch in the first half, and that's the player he fucking hooks.
Yeah.
For the world's most expensive traffic cone, who was our best player in the second half, right? Because I've counted him off. I ain't stopped. He was our best player in the second half. Bale was. Yeah. But what we didn't improve nothing because he took the best player off in the first half for him. Like, what sort of cunt are you? You 1-0 down. I know what we'd do. Take the best fucking player on the pitch off.
Well, yeah, this is what's.
So after that, like if you.
This is what's dragging Jose down, then, isn't it? So it's not just the mistakes that we. Because look, I think Levy will be reasonable enough to understand we don't have a good defense, so we're going to lose some games. But Mourinho is making these mistakes and making these odd decisions with his substitutions and with his starting lineups. Plus these
like Toby
having with these players as well. So. Look at the
bottom. This thing with Toby
about it though. Levy has gone to Mourinho. Look, we've brought Gareth Bale home. This is a big deal, and I just think that Mourinho needed to do more to accommodate Gareth Bale into the team earlier.
I don't think he done the best he can, Mike. With Bale, he was trying to get him fit, and he was giving him minutes, and he was giving him more minutes and more minutes. And the more minutes he gave him, the more he was proving that he didn't have anything to offer. Like, he started in some games and he didn't show him anything. Do you know what I mean? I don't think you can blame Jose for not wanting to play Bale. No, you can only blame Bale.
I would only say that you did see like glimpses of it, and I think this is what frustrates, because I think everyone will be reasonable enough to think, look, if you're not playing well, then I understand why. And I think even to an extent, people do understand why Gareth Bale has not been getting that many minutes, but they also do see the glimpses that he has, and hence the frustration builds when you see him not getting many minutes.
You're going to stick him on for 90 minutes and hope there's a glimpse. You can't, can you? Like, if you're not in a team, what you have to do is prove that you're good enough. Do you know what I mean? Like, Lamela come on against Chelsea and was the best player on the pitch. He started pretty much every game since then.
Yeah.
Mora's showed more than glimpses. Like, Mora, for all his faults, has been lively. He's been probably one of our better players over the last few weeks. As useless as he is sometimes with the ball, but he has. So he plays. Bale hasn't showed enough, like even nearly enough to start. Apart from yesterday, I thought he was good. I thought he was all right yesterday.
Yeah.
So maybe I don't know. Maybe
I mean, for me,
start him next weekend.
I wasn't actually that impressed with Lucas because I know that he made a really good run in the first half. Beat a couple of players, and he looked similar to what he did on the other day with that run in the Europa League. But I think straight after that run, there's a piece of play where a ball's crossed into him, and he tries to flick the ball in as a tap in, and he completely misses it. And then his head goes down, and then it flicks. The screen goes over to Mourinho, and you see Mourinho going, "Lucas, come on, chin up and stop moping about," kind of thing. After that, I think he pretty much was just huffing and puffing a little bit through the game, and was his usual.
But that's because he's not good enough, is he?
It's he. In theory, attributes wise, he should be, but evidently he's not.
Yeah, there's a lot of players, right? Like the Harlem Globetrotters are not a proper NBA team because they're not really good at basketball. They're good at tricks.
Yeah.
And do you know what I mean? Like you get what I'm saying about Moore. He's got great skill, but he's not a good footballer.
No.
Like really, like I'm saying he's not a good footballer. He's played for Brazil and that, and like he ain't shit, but like you ain't winning the league if Moore is your main man, are you?
Not at all. So I mean Tanganga, then so he was out on the right, and in the first half didn't really get used at all.
Didn't do anything, did he? Don't think he didn't get the ball.
And then they didn't really use him in an attacking capacity. I don't know whether that's down to him. I'm not going to get on his back as usual. I think. But see, was it down to him or how we were playing, or go on?
If you want to be a prick about it, you could say that Tanganga didn't get the ball and done nothing, and Doherty got the ball quite a bit more than Tanganga did and done just as much as Tanganga did without the ball. Yeah.
I thought we were attacking exclusively down our left side a lot of the game, especially in the first half. Because
we've only got one fucking good player going forward.
Sorry, go on.
We've only got one good player going forward, and he's a left back, so you'd have to. That's where you got to attack, isn't it?
Well, and you got
everyone else was shit,
and you got Son down that side, and then
Son hasn't had a good game now for 5 games.
Who's that?
Son hasn't played well now for 5 games.
Oh, he was all right in the for a half in Europe.
He was all right for a half in Europe against a shit team, yeah. I don't know why he started that. Don't know why he started it.
Yeah, no, but I don't think. Look, I think it's a really, really simple problem. This is why I'm calm. It's just the defense is shit. The defense is absolute shit, and the manager doesn't help by not using our best central defender properly. He's using our best central
properly,
like second or third choice.
Fucking madness! Like if you take that in the starting lineup, the first thing we said that he was going to drop Toby, and he did. So straight away, our best centre back ain't playing, and then the only sort of decent, as I said, the only decent player in the first half was Lamella. He takes him off. So now our best defender ain't playing. The best attacker on the day ain't playing now because he's took him off. I don't know what. That's mad stuff. Like that's mad shit. Like me and Ashley run the kids team, kids team. If we're 1-0 down, right, and I wanted to take the best player on the pitch off, Ashley would go, "Don't do that. That's stupid."
Yeah.
And I'd go, "What do you mean?" He'd go, "He's like our best player, and we're losing. You probably should keep him on." And I go, "Of course I should fucking keep him on. What sort of fucking person in their right mind would take their best player off when they're losing? No one would. Maybe fuck knows. I don't know maybe there's something wrong with my brain. I was thinking that, or I'm just like some fat fucking loser with a fucking under-12s team. He's the most successful manager in the world, and that's what he done. 1-0 down, and he took his best player off.
Haven't we had this conversation a couple of times where he's taken Son off? You're like, he looked like the only threat. Why the fuck is he taking Son off?
I think this was worse than that. Like, because he's took Son off before, and it's sort of swung the game back, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? So we've lost our out ball. So, and you can go like, that's tactically fucked. Like, that's tactically not a good decision. You've taken off our out ball, so now you're inviting more pressure. But this was worse than that. This was you're losing. There's only one player on the pitch that's turned up for you, and you hooked him. You fucking prick.
Fucking numbskull.
Like, that's me done with Jose. Like, you know, I was Jose's man, wasn't I?
Yeah.
I was so happy. I was like a little fat kid that found out he was getting what he wanted at Christmas when he fucking turned up. And I've backed him and made excuses for him. But in the end, you have to go, I was wrong. I don't know what I'm talking about. And I was wrong. And I didn't know what I was talking about. The guy ain't just a dinosaur. Like, his problem isn't that he's stuck in the dark ages in terms of tactics and that. His problem is now he's doing things that you have to go, you don't know what you're doing. Like, in any sense, like in any tactic, in any era, if you take your best player off when you're losing, you are a fucking nut job. Like, you've lost the plot.
Yeah, that's one.
Either that or you're trying to get sacked. And especially he brings him on. Like, we know that Bale was probably the best player on the pitch in the second half, right? Or at least on our team. But then if I said to you he's bringing Bale on, would you go, yes, that result, we're going to get back into this now because Bale's going to have a blinder? You love Bale.
Yeah,
you're convinced Bale's coming back.
Right, yeah.
You'll be like, oh, fucking, this is a gamble. Right, he might not even turn up. So it's not like even if he replaced him with a banker. He replaced him with someone that probably wasn't going to play well.
Yeah.
Fucking, like, the more you think about it, like, that decision was baffling. Absolutely baffling. I was on the phone at half time, and I come out and I see on TV that Dr. Ian Bale was coming on. And I was like, fucking hell, like, he's having a go. I wasn't pissed off that Bale was coming on because I thought, like, I'd love to see Bale smash it. So I'm like, can't please, like, do something. And then I see that he's took Lamella off. And I'm like,
oh, shit. Yeah.
Even Joe, my missus, was like, do you know they've took Lamella off for him? Fucking come on. Like, even my girlfriend that was she wasn't even really watching the match. She was tidying up and I don't know, she was like baking flapjacks or some shit. Even she knew that it was fucked. It was the worst decision he could have done. It fucking, come on, man. My fucking girlfriend who's baking cakes knew that you're a cunt.
Oh, mate, I wanted to talk to you about Tanganga. Not Tanganga, Tanguy Ndombele. Again, I was on Ndombele watch, and I'm going to bring it up again. He doesn't.
You love Ndombele watch?
Yeah, because I don't think anyone else is noticing this, and I'm trying to figure out if I'm going insane. But
you're worse than Jose when it comes to him, I'm telling you.
I'm on his ass, mate.
Yeah, you are.
Banging on his door, trying to get him to fucking run. But he was hiding again yesterday. And I think it's a shame because he's got something the same as Moussa Dembele had, where he was just press resistant and he could bring us up the pitch. But the difference is he's got like better vision. He has got a killer pass on him as well. I think everyone's really, really focused on his dribbling ability, but he's also a fantastic passer. I don't know if you remember, like, actually know this. Like, his final balls are decisive and perfectly weighted. But he was not really running around looking for the ball. If we had We'd still be in shit because it's defence that's the problem, but we would be better. And I don't know if anyone's actually noticing this, because part of the thing I was looking out for was like, maybe he's getting marked. Maybe there's people around him, and he wasn't getting man marked. He would just go into areas where he's like outnumbered or just in a bad position to receive the ball. So, and then starts pointing around the place. And then when he recovers, then yeah, he'll get the ball and do something fantastic with it.
I think with him, I think there's just a little bit, like by you especially, like there's this thing where like he's got to take the ball 100% of the time because he's really our only creative central midfielder. Right?
Double pivot. That is his job. If he'd done his job properly with the talents he's got, we would be doing better. That's where the frustration comes in for me.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I'm not too. I know what you're saying. I do see it. Oh, he's a good player, and he's not a commanding central midfielder.
Sorry, go on.
I think that's probably what it is. He's not. You've got two players in there, right? Maybe this is part of the problem. You've got two players in there. One of them takes control of the midfield, and the other one doesn't. So if you see Højbjerg will go and show for the ball, we've spoke about this before, like every time. Like he'll be whatever defender's got the ball, he'll make sure he's the closest player to him, right? And you can see like character-wise, he's the boss. And I don't know, maybe it's just a case of Ndombele does what Højbjerg doesn't do. So if Højbjerg is the man that goes, right, I'm doing this, I'm going to go and take up the defence, I'm here, I'm there, and sort of Ndombele just sort of floats around going, right, well, if he's doing that, I'll do this kind of thing. When really, it should be the other way around. Ndombele's the baller. He should be, right, I'm going to get the ball. You just fucking stick around here and make sure that we ain't open.
Yeah.
But it don't. So I don't know. Like I'm not too sure if that might be like a thing between the pair of them. Maybe don't know. Like you say Moussa Dembele. We spoke about this the other day. To be comparing really either of our centre midfielders to Moussa Dembele is fucking pathetic.
Yeah.
Højbjerg's brilliant and Ndombele's brilliant, but I honestly don't think that people understood what Moussa Dembele, how good he was. Like, we were shit from the transfer window that he left. Think about it.
Yeah.
Think about that.
And me talking about...
We were shit then.
Me going on about the consistency of Sissoko. Like, Moussa Dembele, did he ever have a fucking off day as well? He was for, I don't know, probably 3 seasons, he was the best midfielder in every game we played, I think. Easily. He was unreal. He literally does what he wants. When he wants to beat you, he'll beat you.
He was unreal. Take the ball off you.
Yeah.
Just take the ball. Like, he literally used to take the ball for people. You'd never really see him sliding and getting into scuffles. It was a nudge, take the ball, Cruyff turn, go past 2 players, play it to one of the 3 attacking midfielders. Every time. I remember on Facebook, and Dwyer, who's an Arsenal supporter, isn't he? James.
Right.
I think might have tagged me in it. And he was like, fucking, because what it was, this was like quite early. And me and James had a conversation. Like, he said to me, like, how good is Moussa Dembele? And I was like, man, he's fucking unreal. And we had a conversation down the pub about it, right? And then he tagged me in a video of basically Moussa Dembele, like, one of them like YouTube 5-minute videos. And he was just like knocking people off the ball, dropping the shoulder, going past people, just looking like the best player in the world for like 4 or 5 minutes. And then there was people commenting going, yeah, but you can make this video out of anyone. And I'm like, no, this is one game.
Yeah.
Like, he does this every single game for 90 minutes.
Yeah.
People don't. He was like Moussa Sissoko, Højbjerg, and then Ndombele rolled into one player. Yeah.
Oh, and it's unbelievable how strong he was as well.
And people used to go, you know what? He ain't a top player because he don't score enough goals. Can you remember anyone saying that about fucking Patrick Vieira or Roy Keane and other defensive midfielders? No one's ever. Moussa Dembele is the only person the only defensive midfielder that's been thrown at. No one says that about Henderson.
Yeah,
do
True.
they? No one. Can they? No one says it about can they? Fucking mental. Like if you didn't realise how good Mr. Dembele was, then fucking unlucky.
Joy to watch. I think, yeah, him and Modric to this day, best players. Well, and Berbatov actually to watch live.
Yeah, Modric's fucking unbelievable. Modric's unbelievable. The only thing that Dembele he didn't have, I think, like that final pass. So like when he broke the lines, he never made that final pass. That's the only criticism. Yeah. But fucking come on, no one's perfect, are they? Yeah, no one criticizes Messi for not being good in the air.
Yeah,
like, you can't fucking have everything, and he had everything else, literally everything else.
Yeah. I wonder what he's doing now, playing in China. We could have done with him last season, possibly even this season.
You know what I was thinking? Imagine.
We probably could have. It's just because Poch was fucking running him into the ground as he's getting older. Idiot. Just use him properly. Look what we did with Ledley King. Like if
the best managers have always done that.
Go on.
The best managers have always done that. They've always compensated for players when they was that important. So, like the first manager I can ever remember doing it when I was proper young was Man United used to do it with Paul Maguire, the centre back.
All right.
Yeah, his knees were fucked. He was on the piss all week, and Ferguson would be like, right, like don't bother coming into training, just turn up on the weekend.
Damn.
We done it with King. King didn't have to train, did he? Just play.
Yeah.
I think Man City pretty much done the same thing with Company. Players like there's loads of fucking examples of it. Like when a player's that important,
So
you got to do it, ain't you?
Go like that for the money then. For like 8 mil or something stupid.
I don't even think it was that much. I looked the other day actually because I was fucking doing my head in thinking about Dembele. You know, like when a bird's fucked off and you like.
I watched a couple of his games in his first season, just doing the same shit to those guys. I was like, oh my days, how I missed this. And he walked that league as well. But yeah, we could have still had him. He could have still been about.
Well, imagine if I always think, imagine if he stuck around for the rest of that season, he would have played in the Champions League final, wouldn't he?
Yeah. Yeah, and he'll make a difference as well because he did.
No, he would have been the best midfielder in the game.
Yeah.
Liverpool didn't have a midfielder better than him.
Sure.
So we give away the best midfielder in a Champions League final in January for about 5 million. Congratulations, you fucking morons!
Fantastic. Well, look. How comes we're so calm right now, Dean?
Because it's done, isn't it? And we know it. We know it.
Yeah.
I mean, if you and your missus have been on the rocks for 6 months, and you ain't spoken, you ain't kissed, you ain't nothing, and you're sleeping in separate beds, and she's probably got another geezer and you've got another bird. On the day it happens, you break up, you ain't shocked and you ain't crying, are you? You're like, it's done, it's run its course. Let's move on. That's what I mean, no one's crying and sulking. I haven't looked at any of the other YouTube channels and stuff to see people's reactions. I'm sure they're cracking up. I've seen Enoch out and Jose out and this one's shit and that one's shit. Just accept it and chill out. We are not very good anymore. See, our manager's dead.
I think we are good. It's just our defence. I think we've just got, that's our only problem. And Mourinho is in there as well. I think you get somebody else in, someone to fresh up the defence somehow, some way, bring people in from the youth academy or whatever,
fucking from heaven,
or just try something else with Toby and I don't know Roden. I know we spoke.
Toby's finished now. Toby, let's face it, Toby's still our best centre back, right?
Yeah, but
Jose
season as my main guy. If we're just talking,
but there's obviously a reason. There's obviously a bit of a reason. Do you know what I mean? We can moan about what Jose wants to do attacking, but defensively, he normally kind of gets it right. I'm not saying that, does he? But he ain't the player he was. So to say that Toby's the future for anything isn't really right. For now, he's the best defender to play it. But
I mean, I would say, look, just for the rest of between now and the rest of the season, if we're talking hypothetically, and well, it might not even be that hypothetical soon, if you haven't got Mourinho, because we're trying to discuss like what the problem is and how we see the rest of the season going, and with Mourinho gone and someone to sort out the defense, I think the rest of the team is absolutely fine. I don't think it's as ominous as you make it out to be, that the team's shit. It's just the defense, and Mourinho's just doing some fuckeries that's making things look worse. Now, I think part of the reason why I'm calm as well is because I know what's going to happen in the rest of the season, and at least it's not going to be really boring, because I'm still going to be watching Spurs. I'll be watching my Spurs, but at least we're not doing that sitting back shit. At least I know every game's going to be entertaining because I know what's going to happen. If you're, like I said earlier, it's just going to be a battle of the nerve of the defenses. And most teams in the league have got their defenses are made of stronger stuff than ours. So there's going to be some topsy-turvy games. But Jose will be back soon as well.
I think it's that, isn't it? You know what's coming every match.
Yeah.
There's no like yesterday. I wasn't like normally if we get beat by West Ham, I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake, I don't believe this. How does this happen? And yesterday I was like, oh well, we
It's
got beat
about
again.
that time, yeah.
Yeah, we knew we was going to get beat. Like the only moan from yesterday was probably something that did get to me was the realization that actually this is down to Jose. He is a useless prick and he don't know what he's fucking doing.
Right.
That's what came out yesterday. But apart from,
do you have any clues about that before?
Yes. I don't think it was going well. I think he's been a proper disappointment. Like from the time,
for sure,
from when Kane got injured and that whole period there where he was basically, his attitude was, Kane's injured, we're fucked. Then another player got injured and then they was, so instead of trying to work a way around it or do something tactically to improve it or chuck Parrott up front and try and like put your arm around him and go on son, do your thing. It was like the most fucking pessimistic, depressing, like he basically just cast a massive shadow over Tottenham and our season was done from then. That was the first time when I thought, like, if that was Pochettino, I don't think it would have been anything like that. Parrott probably would have got his starts and he might have scored a couple. It might not have been the best. Do you know what I mean? He's 18 or 17 at the time. But it wouldn't have felt as dark and depressing as that. And that was the first time I thought, yeah, maybe. And then he got the players back, that Project Startup or whatever it was called. And he failed in that little mini leagues. And then I thought, he hasn't done great here. And then if you look at it, he's been a disappointment. But you could always blame the defence. He's only got what he's working with. But when you're taking your best player off at half time in a game you're losing, that's unacceptable. That's just that's not I don't think you're the right man for the job. That's, you don't know what you're doing. So somewhere along the line, he's gone from being the best manager in the world to being, what's the word? I don't even know what the word would be. Incompetent.
Yeah.
That's probably the word, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't think it's necessarily that strong because talking about my mates Dele Alli and Gareth Bale. Look, I also think that it's criminal the way they've been underused. I know you'll disagree with me.
Dele Alli come on yesterday and was shit again.
Yeah. I'm not going to defend,
and that's going to be every time he plays.
I'm definitely not going to defend that. But what I would say is, at the moment, at that time when we were in that really big slump, and these guys were not even being put into the team sheet. Look, it's not about how they're performing. It's about just logic and being a manager. And like what I was saying to you the other time when I was saying, look, you've got sports psychologists, plus you're supposed to be managing these people. It's like it's for me, it's not good problem solving if you have those two tools there and you're not using them at a time where you need to freshen things up. For me, that's incompetent. Because I think you should. I think you should.
I'm still not sure. I'm not going to batter him with that one. Like you used the word tools. If you're trying to knock down the wall with your biggest hammer, and it ain't working too well, you don't get a shit hammer to try it, do you? And Bale and Dele Alli don't get in a team in front of any of the people that was in the team first.
Sorry, huh? I was going to say, well, maybe you just swing the hammer in a different way, a way that you can manage it, and then because it's a heavy hammer, fucking wall down.
Maybe.
But it was just the fact. It's the arrogance. It's the level. This is why I say it's incompetent. It's the level of arrogance to not even consider these players with these kind of talents at a time where you need to, I think is incompetent, because at that level, you've got to be able to be that self-aware to know I'm doing something that might actually, well, I'm not saying harm the team because the guys weren't playing that well anyway, but I'm not exploring an option because of my beef with these guys. I think
that's where we disagree with it. You think it's because of some sort of beef and disagreement, and I think it's because they're shit.
Right.
That's why we don't agree on this subject of the Dele and Bale thing. You think it's like a clash of personalities, and he don't pick them because he likes them, and I think he don't pick them because they don't play well.
There's a problem of some sort other than just them not performing well.
Is there though?
I think so.
Do you think Dele Alli's done anything to warrant a start in the last all season?
He hasn't played enough. Hasn't played well enough in a game for me to go, all right, yeah, I'm gonna, like, you're my main guy from now on. But I would be trying to get something out of him.
Would you pick him in front of Lamela?
Sorry?
Would you pick him in front of Lamela?
Never.
Would you pick him in front of Mora?
Not after these last two games, but before that, yeah.
So he don't get in the team then, does he?
No, yeah, I get that, but it's the arrogance. I'm talking. It's about the personality of the guy that I think that there's a flaw there that stops him from making positive actions for the team.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Is that? Yeah, I know what you're saying. When he's asked about it,
even just inquisitive actions for the team, maybe explore it. But he's no. But then that's something we'll probably never get to the bottom of, because neither of us know if there is actually any real beef between the two of them. So yeah,
I think there probably was in the end. I would imagine there probably was in the end, because I don't suppose Dele Alli. It must be hard to accept that having so much potential at such a young age and hitting the numbers that he did, that overnight he was going to turn into someone that can't get into a mid-table team, which is what's turned into. Like that would be fucking hard for anyone to accept. But that's the reality. It's a bit like Danny Rose when he said to Jose, like, why aren't you picking me? And Jose was kind of like, well, you ain't playing very well, are you? And he's like, yeah, but but like, you ain't playing well, mate. Like what? Like imagine how the conversation goes.
Like, didn't you say you thought you had a point when Rose brought up that Tanganga was playing there over him?
No, he had a point where he pretty much said, yeah, but everyone been shit. And that was true. Everyone else was shit. Like, so if you look at it, I don't think anyone, no one was playing well. Tanganga played all right there, to be fair. But yeah, I can't see you had a conversation where, like, what does Dele Alli say? Why aren't I playing? Because you ain't playing very well. Yeah, but neither's anyone else. But they are, aren't they? Like, Son's doing all right. You ain't getting in front of him. You probably ain't getting in front of Lamela. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe if you give Dele Alli 10 games, he might play himself into a bit of form. But for 10 games, you've got to gamble that you've got to take someone out who's performing for 10 games and put him in. Like what you're saying is you'd do it. Like you'd take that risk and you'd back Delhi to after by the end of that run, he would have proved himself.
I'd say I'd be open to it. If I'm a world-class manager where the stakes are this high, I would be open to it.
But that's the thing, if the world-class manager and your stakes that high, you're going to gamble less. Like, you know that if you play Lamela, you're going to get around the 7 and he's going to work really hard, close down and do everything. If you play Dele Alli, you're probably going to get a 6 and he might nick a goal here and there at the minute. Do you know what I mean? So
your logic is sound. Like, look, your logic is sound, but just, you know, football isn't as black and white as that, though. Because, you know, it could, you know, either one of them, Bale or Delhi, could score a worldie, and then they just, all their confidence is back and whatever, and then they go on a run from now.
No, I think you're right. I think you're probably right there.
The season and just completely disappoint and prove you completely right. So.
Yeah, you don't know until it happens. You don't know, but that's what I mean. I'm not saying Jose's particularly right. I know I keep saying Dele Alli's shit, and I'm not saying he's shit. He can play a certain way. And if Jose don't want to play him in that certain way, then he ain't going to get the best out of him. But you could be right. Like what you're saying really is, well, play him that way because this way is shit. And you've got a player there that you know if he plays a certain way, he's going to be a good player.
Yeah.
So you're right, really. Like I've argued fucking for hours over you over it. So do you know what I mean? In that sense, you're right. But then it just comes down to, do you want to change the formation just to fit this one player in? And it's sort of got to the point now, like, I know what you're saying. Like, what's to lose? We're shit anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so that's I've got to admit, this is the most zen I've been about a fucking depressing Tottenham season, to be honest with you. I wonder if it will fuck with me if we actually do win a cup, because I don't know how I'm going to actually process that. Because at the moment,
I don't know.
Yeah, at the moment where we are is we know how the next few games at least are going to be going while Jose's in this sticky patch. But no, that's as far as my thought has gone on that. So, did you have anything to say there?
I think it's worse than a sticky patch. I think me going around telling everyone that Jose and Daniel Levy was the perfect match, and we've got a good squad, and he's gonna perfect Jose players, and everything's gonna go well. I think sometimes it's just admit you're wrong, talk about your problems, and the problem shared is a problem half.
Yeah. Do you know what?
And my problem is that I was wrong. Deal with it, everyone.
I'd been watching some other Spurs channels,
right,
and seen some of them talking about like Enoch and Daniel Levy out. What's wrong with some people?
There's this thing, right, and it comes down to people not knowing what they're talking about. I think
completely
is that Daniel Levy is one of the best chairmen in football, right? Guaranteed, right? And everyone's gonna go, no, he ain't. What have we won? No. It's not for one thing, it's not Daniel Levy's money. Like, you can't say to that, then people will go, Pochettino was amazing because he had to work under this budget. And Levy's a wanker. Well, Levy, look what Levy's done with his budget. Like, they make out that Levy can just go to Joe Lewis and just pick up whatever money he wants out of the pot and go and run it. Like, that's not how it works.
Given a budget and you can work magic with it. Levy's
given the budget, and the budget's passed down. Levy doesn't determine what the fucking budget is. Like, Levy's built this. Levy's took us from mid-table to over the course, bit better, bit better, to the point we're in Champions League near enough every season, getting to the Champions League final. That's all been under Daniel Levy's reign, right? best stadium in the world, all under Daniel Levy's reign. And Daniel Levy's done that on ENIC's budget, the budget that he's been given. Like, so when people say ENIC out, Levy out, what are you sacking Levy for?
It's unbelievable.
Like, if Tottenham got
You don't need
bought,
to be that deep into it to understand as well how good a job he's doing.
He's done an amazing job. He sacks at the right time. He does. Like, think about it this way: everyone that's
We've got Jose
sacked,
Mourinho. I know we're cussing him, but we've got the so-called supposed to be best manager in.
Yeah,
go on.
It hasn't worked out, but you can't knock Levy for that.
That was a fucking coup. That was a coup.
Yeah, what I was gonna say was Levy. Everyone that Levy's sacked has always come back, and none of them have ever had a bad word to say about Levy. Yeah. Like, their thing is like he's 100% Tottenham, and everything he does is for the best. He can't. Like, it's mad. Like, I don't know. Like, if you've got a problem with the amount of money Tottenham spend, that's an ENIC problem. That's Joe Lewis' problem. That's nothing to do with Daniel Levy. Daniel Levy has done the best with the budget he's been given. And like, if you can't work that out, you're not a dumbass. You might not even look into it that much, but that's the reality of it.
Yeah, and I don't get it as well, because I in my opinion, we do spend money. I know we just recently had that. What was it? 2 transfer windows where we didn't buy anybody at all, but turns out it kind of works with COVID coming up. But usually we spend a bit of money.
We don't spend enough money, but I mean, I don't know what people want.
Like wages, we're tight with wages. Yeah. That's terrible. But I think we usually do put our hand in our pocket. We don't pay extravagant prices, but we don't also kind of.
So I mean, I don't know what people want.
Huh?
I don't know what people want realistically.
For me right now, the problem is that all of our problems right now is the defense and Mourinho. 2 things that can get solved easily, and in the meantime, it's interesting to watch how it unravels, because the problem will solve itself, or we'll need Levy to solve the problem. The back 4.
I think I don't know. You're kind. I think we're probably calm for different reasons. You're calm because you think Levy will get sacked in a minute, and we're going by a couple of defenders, and all our problems will go away.
Yeah, that's your spot. That's how I feel, man.
And I don't know. I don't think it's that simple. I don't think it's that simple.
Shit, didn't you?
Yeah, we are. We're massively in the shit. Squad's fucked. Like, think about it. If you just run through it quickly, goalkeeper's on his last legs. How much are you going to go and pay for a top goalkeeper? Loads of money. We haven't got a good right back, so we need 2. Loads of money. We've got no centre backs that are capable of defending. So you've got to go and buy
3,
probably 2, and hope Roden and Tanganga step up.
Yeah.
That's loads of money. If you're talking about 50 million for a goalkeeper, 50 million a piece for 2 centre backs. I mean, even if you don't, like let's think of the best. So I'm not trying to be negative. Like, let's think of the best and hope that Reguilón stays. So we need 2 right backs. Say that's 50 million for the pair, yeah? 50 million for each defender. So we're on 200 million. We ain't got out of defence.
That's all right. Don't need to buy anyone else.
Million. We do. Because if you go into the midfield, if you want to stick with Højbjerg and Ndombele, then you can stick with Højbjerg and Ndombele. You got Skip. You're probably all right there. You got Kane up front. Kane's 27. I hope he's around next season. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes this summer, but he ain't going to be there the summer after. Son, same. And then you look at if you depending on what formation you want to play, 4-2-3-1. We haven't got a number 10 that's any good, really. A right winger that's good enough. So you're looking at you got to go and get a decent number 10. You're talking another 50, 60 million, and a right winger, another 40. So you're looking at 300 million to sort your defence out. 300 million, you've got to buy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players So you got to buy over half a team, and you got to get every one of them positions right, every one of them signings right, and you got to spend 300 million doing it, and that neither of them things are going to happen. Not every signing is perfect. Probably half the signings you do work out.
Yeah.
Would that be fair? So you're going to shoot 300 million, and you're still going to be three first team players short of being a good side, and that's why we're fucked.
Nice.
I mean, what do you think? What do you think?
You're calm about this.
No, because there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, I feel it. Yeah.
And you know what? When there's nothing you can do about it, that's me chilled. Like the COVID thing, like everyone, like don't get me wrong, fucking I'm depressed as shit. COVID's killing me. But normally I'm really stressed out. And when the COVID thing happened, I was like, shit's taken out your hands, isn't it? And I'm like, everyone's like, you seem pretty calm. Like, your business is fucked. You've got no work and whatnot. But I'm like, but there's nothing I can do about it. So let's chill. And this is the same thing. Squad's fucked. Nothing we can do about it. We're a million miles away from it being good, in my opinion. So
wow.
I'd be more stressed if I was thinking like you. So I'd be like, oh, we need 2 players. Like, who are them 2 players going to be? Like, I hope we get them 2 players, right? But I'm like, we're 6 players, 300 million away, and we ain't going to spend 300 million, and we ain't going to buy 6 players. So let's hope we can nick a goal on the counter in the League Cup final and get a cup out of it. That's it.
Yeah. Shit.
I mean, what do you think of my breakdown? What do you think? Because we completely think differently about this. Now I've put it to you like that.
I don't think. No, I think if Kane and Son go, then we've got a problem with those attacking lot.
But even if they stay,
double pivot,
think of it the best scenario. Best scenario is that they stay.
Then
you think number 10 we're good in that position, right wing we're good.
If we actually had someone come in that would use Harry Kane as a number 10, then we'll have a start.
That's not going to happen. I don't think that's ever going to happen. No one's going to do that. I think it's worth trying, but you're never going to have a manager come in and go, right. I mean, that's even worse, Mike. Because now you ain't got to buy, if you drop him into a 10, you've got to go and buy a forward that's going to get you 25 goals.
No, because I'll put Son up there. And I've still got Vinicius as well.
Then you still need 2 attacking midfielders then.
Yeah.
Unless you think that more of, but that's what I mean. So you still need the same amount of players.
What I was going to say is like, if Kane and Son went, then we would be screwed because I don't think I could rely on them fools. I wouldn't be able to. I mean, the most you can do is just hope that someone would be able to just steer Lucas Moura in the right direction.
It's not going to happen.
Someone constantly screaming, run, Lucas, run at him every time he gets the ball. But you've got to turn him in the right fucking direction in the first place.
Lucas has been around. He's been around for, what's he, 26, 27? 27, something?
That's why it was so easy to get him from PSG, wasn't it?
And think of everywhere he's been, he's never fulfilled the potential of when he was younger. So he's proven over 3/4 of a career that he's not really good enough. Lamela, what's he, 27, 28 now?
Yeah.
27?
Yeah.
His thing's gone. Like all that potential that he once said where he was going to be Argentina's next Maradona, what they thought.
No, this is
never happened, did it?
He's a good level. He's definitely a good level. He's a good player, but this is it. He's not going to get any better than this.
But think of more as a pace player, yeah? So as that pace goes, he'll go. So at 27, 28, he's going to slowly start deteriorating. Lamela, you'd say with the injuries he's got and his body, you've got to expect him to just, like, he's not going to get less injury prone as he hits 30. So he's on his way down. So all these players that you're banking on to be good, they ain't getting any better.
No, so I wouldn't necessarily bank on them, but I would feel comfortable banking on Dele Alli getting some sort of form back, and he will probably be under a different manager. Gareth Bale will probably go back to Real after this season. He's not really.
But this is what I'm saying.
Where there was a manager who came in that he got along with, then maybe, and he got some minutes, then maybe he would want to stay for another season. So for that short foreseeable future, yeah, from the centre midfield up to the attackers, I feel fine. But from the way you see it with your analogy, I don't think they're as bad up top as you think it is.
Okay.
And I think that the defensive problem is easier solved as well.
If you think that's easy to solve, you're fucking tough. You are mental if you think that's easy to solve.
So what?
In the last 20 years, we've bought 2 good centre backs in the last 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
And you want us to go and get 2 good centre backs this summer?
It's not impossible.
It is impossible.
You look for maybe just one that's in the Premier League that's been playing like
Man City have spent 400 million to put a decent defence together. Guardiola, the best manager ever, apparently, it's costing 400 million to put a decent defence together.
Yeah, but we both don't really rate Guardiola in that level.
He's still one of the best managers, whether or not you think he's got lucky.
For saying he's good at picking the right players to come in. I think it's just
Arsenal.
You give anybody that much money and say you can have whoever you want. You'll choose some of these big names who you know are going to be guaranteed.
Arsenal still haven't replaced Sol Campbell.
Well, look,
what did he retire 15 years ago?
Hang on. So before, well, we had Vertonghen.
Vertonghen and Alderweireld, the only two good centre backs we've bought in the last 20 years.
You could be right. I'll need to think.
You could argue that Woodgate was decent, but he was kind of injured.
No.
You could argue that Dawson was. A lot of people would say that Dawson was good. I disagree. I don't think he was very good at all. But
yeah, that's another day.
But really, if you wanna, if you're talking about winning leagues and that, or not winning, not just or competing, or sort of guaranteeing that you're going to be in the top 4, then what I'm saying is you can't. You want to go. You think you can go and buy 2 decent centre backs this summer when teams haven't found a decent. Arsenal haven't bought a decent centre back in 15 years. Man United haven't bought a decent centre back. When was the last decent centre back they bought was Vidic? When was that? 10 years ago?
Yeah. Well,
it's fucking impossible.
You would have got yourself like a Tyrone Mings, someone like that. Someone that's used to playing in the league, playing well. You get yourself a Tyrone Mings, and then maybe he'll be expensive. He's English as well, isn't he? And maybe put him next to Rodon. I know we were gunning Rodon. Well, we weren't gunning him, but we were saying, look, he hasn't had that much game time, but he has made a few mistakes. Now, that is a fair judgment for now, but only for now. He needs, and like I say, he doesn't actually make these mistakes for Wales or wherever he was before. Where was he? Swansea?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he wasn't making those mistakes regularly for them. So maybe he's just getting sucked into the culture of the club and the people that are around him. But if he gets a good run in front of him with a steady partner, it's not impossible that you can solve a problem there.
So you take over, right? And your big thing to get us back to the top is Tyrone Mings and fucking Joe Rodon centre-back partnership.
I'm just spitballing here.
You know what? No, I'll tell you what.
Now it's better than what we got now, and we're fucking.
No, that's the thing. It might not be. It might not be better than what we've got now, because I think this is the point you're missing, right? All them teams that I said haven't bought a decent centre back for 10 to 15 years have all thought that they've bought decent centre backs. That's what I'm getting at. I'm not saying we won't go and buy 2 and expect them to play well, but Man United thought that they bought their Virgil van Dijk when they bought Maguire, and he's proven to be shit. Every centre back that Arsenal's bought will tell you that they're brilliant. Every summer they buy a centre back and go, he's fucking brilliant. Now it's Gabriel, isn't it?
Yeah.
He's fucking quality. He's absolutely brilliant. he'd be shit by the end of the season and they want him out. They do it with all their defenders. So that's what I mean. Everyone's bought defenders. It's not like these teams have just gone, I ain't buying one. There ain't no good ones about. They've gone and bought the best available that they could buy. And they very rarely work out. That's what I'm saying. To go and spend the money and for them both to work out it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. I don't know. Like, we was lucky to have had Vertonghen and Alderweireld. We don't, like, that's what I mean. With that team, this is why I say that we're deluded. The supporters are deluded. We don't realise how lucky we was to have the players that we had at the time. Because that ain't happening again. Like, Man United haven't had a decent centre-back partnership since Vidic and Ferdinand. The most famous, one of the most famous clubs in world football can't get a decent centre-back partnership in 10 years. Like, it ain't happening. That's what I mean. We're a million miles away from being good again.
Wow. Okay.
It's depressing, but
I think I might agree with you there. And it still kind of melds into how I see things as well, because, yeah, that might still be the case that our main problem is our defense. It just might take a lot longer for us to actually get one that works, or
so
there isn't now.
that's what I mean.
It's just how long we got to wait until we actually get a decent.
I mean, best case scenario, right? We buy one good centre back this summer.
Yeah.
We're not going to get lucky and buy two on the bounce, are we? Like, if you look at all the other teams that I mentioned, like Man City, the amount of money they throw at defenders.
Look, we need one. Look,
It's took them what? Laporte's decent and Diaz is decent.
Yeah.
So it took them what? What did Laporte's been there? 2 years? 3 years?
Laporte? I think it's 2.
Yeah. So they've got it. You'd say that they've got it right, wouldn't you? And they've got unlimited funds, biggest wages, and they're the only ones that have got it right.
God damn. Whoa. Well, all we can do is just watch and see what happens. It's going to be interesting times. So Mourinho will be going. We'll probably get my boy Nagelsmann in there. And
do you know all I want out of this? No, this is what I've got to. I don't believe that we're going to be. We probably won't make top 4 again for another 3 or 4 or 5 years. It's going to be like a rebuild that. It's going to take another rebuild, but before the rebuild happens, it's going to take for everyone to realise that it needs a proper rebuild, right? So the Mourinho thing's not. This ain't a rebuild. We didn't think we needed one, and we do. So if they give him to the season, they might even give him next season. Then the rebuild starts. You got to give a player. You got to give a manager another season. So we could be sort of 2 or 3 years away from having a decent side again. And all I want right now is the stadium to open so I can go and eat the fucking pies that are delicious and drink fucking 10 pints of neck oil and have some fun.
Apparently from May, I heard.
All I'm doing is sitting down with a bowl of cake in my living room, scratching my nuts and watching that shower of shit.
Yeah.
At least I'll be drunk and in some kind of atmosphere.
All I would say to this, I would just like it to be at least be entertaining for the rest of the season. Do what I expect you to do. Make let opposition score fucking ridiculous goals against us. Lose against teams that we're clearly the favourites against. Yeah, when we do, it'll just completely fail before we get anywhere near it. And I'll be happy.
It's depressing, isn't it? But what do you do?
Well, it looks like sack Mourinho, dude. People are calling for it at the moment.
It's
And the media's
like
media's got a hold of that little thread as well, so they're going to be pulling at that.
Yeah, I think now you've got to say it. Like, the best thing we can do is sack the manager as soon as possible and start the rebuild as soon as possible. That's the best thing that we can do. That is the best thing we can do. Might as well give Jose till the end of the season, because you can't go and buy and sell no players now. So give him to the end of the season.
Get rid of him. You can't buy and sell anything, and just say to him, look, this is all you need to do is just don't get us in too much trouble between now and the end of the season. And maybe
saying that though, like as I said, Levy sacks at the right time normally. Right? We still ain't a million miles off top 4. We're 9 points with a game in hand.
Well,
and all them teams,
we're only 4 points. So yeah, it is 9. Yeah, so 9 points.
And all them teams around there can drop points, right? So if you're Daniel Levy, yeah, and we know that they run a tight ship in Champions League football, the money from that is important, then you'd wait out, wouldn't you? Would you sack Mourinho, get another manager in, hope that there's a bounce, because there's always a bounce. We haven't got any I don't think we've got a lot of hard games coming up. So say you win the next 5 on the bounce, would probably put you somewhere in and around within touching distance of 4th.
Yeah. And you know what? Right? A lot of it's not Mourinho's fault. He is working.
A lot of it's not Mourinho's fault, but you will get whenever a new manager comes in, you always get a bounce.
Yeah. I was talking about.
So would that be worth sacking him to get the bounce? Then I suppose if you're Levy and Enoch, you'd have to weigh up how much it's going to cost to sack Jose and how much is the Champions League worth to us next season. I would imagine the Champions League would be worth much more to us with a decent run and whatnot, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
So they might do it.
30 million max to sack Jose.
It's a gamble, but you never know. You never know. They might take it.
But look, Levy likes Mourinho, so I do think that he'll give him. I'd like to think that he'd give him a bit of a chance.
Not now. Not after yesterday. It's mad that subbing Lamela, in my opinion, it means you deserve to be sacked. That's where we're at in our lives.
Jeez.
That's how bad it's got. Subbing the great Lamela is going to get you a sack, you fucking dickhead.
He's fucked it, hasn't he?
He's a dickhead.
You know, that's enough for one night, I think. That was our hangover, and it started to sound like a hangover towards the end, actually, for the West Ham game. So we just lost 2-1 and discussed a little bit about Mourinho's future and how we see the rest of the season going. I'd like to hear what you think as well. So comment down below, mash the like. We'll check you soon with some more perky content.
Tomorrow,
God damn it.
Fuck.
Who we got?
Fucking
Wolfsburger. And then the league game? Fulham.
Fucking Burnley.
Oh, no. Yeah, that's gonna be a slog, or they're gonna beat us 1-0.
Could be Jose's last game. I think if he loses that, I reckon they might have to fucking pull the plug, man. Well, they might have to, you know. The more I think about it, it makes sense.
Yeah. So no, well, that just means more exciting times then. So we'll have some more shit to talk about.
Yeah, can't wait.
Oh my days! All right, well, I'll catch you tomorrow then, big man.
It's the pre-drinks tomorrow. I think I will actually get fucking drunk for the pre-drinks.
Get some gin.
Right.
All right then, man. Peace out.
Leave me alone. Bye.